The mothership has landed, and welcome to another episode of Live from My Watch. I'm StonerSteve, your host, and the fearless captain of this time-traveling spaceship we're flying around in. We're joined by a chorus of night critters and the acrobatics of a freshly emerged what are they called? The colloquial term is locust. Cicada. That's it. I just had to say the old word first. Cicada. The old word to me was locust. I don't know why we grew up saying that. It was how it was taught to me. Here in Oklahoma, we do things different. Sorry about that, I broke the spell for a minute, but it's come back. I'm gazing out from the viewing deck of the ship, observing a quiet neighborhood in a distant from Earth, that is, a distant wooded planet in the star system Gorliax 3-5 in the timeline of Emperor StonerSteve Flip. StonerSteve Flip. ZTF timeline. ZTF. Anyways. If this broadcast is airing when I think it is, you, my friend, are listening from the Napoleonic timeline. It's ridiculous. Needless world building. Since everyone knows this is a show that brings you the hard-hitting facts on the topics of the day. And our first topic will lead the charge as we review the headlines of the most talked about stories you've probably heard. But have you heard my take on the issues? That's coming up next after the break. First, we'll have weather, after the break. I've got some old games I'm trying to sell. No, I don't. Yes, I do. I think I'm cleaning out my Monopoly collection. If you're interested, hit me up. Girls gotta make cash. Cash money. Honey. This episode is brought to you in part by the generous donations from listeners like you. Thank you for being a part of something. One day we'll be at 2 million subs, and Spotify will wonder what took them so long to start giving me ad revenue. But until then, I implore upon the pockets of the people. Tip if you can, so I can feed my cat. And now back to the show. Sorry about the ad read there. Still working without a writing staff. Been told not to talk about it. All right, welcome back. First, the weather, in which we will discuss the weather from across galaxies and timelines. Here in the Galactic Long 441 galaxy, in the Fleet Flute Flapjack timeline, Colonel Fleet Flute Flapjack. Right where it crosses Emperor's and Ding Ding Floopaloop Flibbly-Jap timeline. You can see there's a little bit of a nexus storm here and here. I hope these visuals are coming through. Not to be feared unless you're living in the Tum Woodulous galaxy. You have nothing to fear. And this just in. News flash. One lone Neflufluful's adventurer has been stranded in the Tum Woodulon's galaxy as a nebulous storm rages mere inches away on our map, but thankfully hundreds of miles in reality. We jump now to this adventure. I've been here for a minute. Are you coming through, Commander? Commander, can you hear us here in the studio? I can. Alright, we're not picking up the commander, unfortunately, so we're gonna have to let this broadcast lapse. We will follow along with the story, however, while we continue to bring you riveting details as this continues to unfold here on what has turned out to be a very special episode of Live from My Watch with your host, StonerSteve. Today's episode is brought to you in part by Grandmother Fudge, the fudgiest fudge you've ever fudged. Grandmother's fudge, just like grandmother made it. Up next, we have an interview with a sunflower who claims to have seen an eclipse, although no one else in the garden can collaborate the story. It's sort of a Chicken Little situation, but it's a sunflower tall, we might call it. Workshopping that idea for a little children's story. Maybe he's tall enough that he saw the eclipse before anyone else? I don't know. Oh, maybe a storm is coming. That would be cute. Oh, sunflower tall. No, I was being sarcastic, but I just went and warmed my heart. We'll be right back. Do you miss the good old days? We sure do here at Grandmother's farm, where we still make fresh cut whole grain butter, oat fudge with extra oat, now packed with grit in the special grit edition of Grandmother's Fudge, currently available at Grandmother's convenience store here on Grandmother's farm. Next time you're in the neighborhood of Teapot Aloe Galaxy, don't forget to stop by and visit Color Combo Timeline. Near the exit for Corn Plant Light. And now back to the show. So the radio manager just stopped by and said we're having some difficulties with the broadcast. So we're going to cut now to an already ongoing performance of Green Grows the Lilies, the classic musical starring Kit Catford and Coyote Billy Blues. Until next time, good night and good blue blocks. I've been your host, StonerSteve. Along and the lilies withered. Where were you then? Where are you now? And then again, the grass upon the water falls down, and the end of the rainbow lies in thorn. Castle rope tied to her golden hair upon the water running down, and then the mountainside of light, and flowers bloomed in brightest nights. We interrupt this already scheduled broadcast to bring you a new broadcast. Updates on the Blown Adventure have been trickling in. The Lone Ron Tum Tum Tabulon Woodulin Galaxy near the Vector Nectar Storm, the Nexus Storm. What was in this Irish coffee I was drinking? That's not slanderous. It's the name of a drink. And anyways, I'm part Irish on my mother's side. At least my grandfather claimed it. Oh, listen to the mystery. Wind chimes on a windy evening. A siren, lonely as it calls in the night. The birds fall silent. Never quenched to fill the noise, any crack within the void, the chirps that ring out, enveloping a blanket upon the blanket of humidity. The darkness looms around the warm glow of the string of lights. Stars here and there, tiny. No moon for days. The longest new moon they can remember. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Thanks for listening. Listen, if you have a chance to leave a comment, I would really appreciate it. I don't even care if it's negative. Tell me what I did wrong. It'd be great. This is a podcast recorded on a smartwatch. That is an idea that I came up with. No one else is doing it, as far as I know. If you are and you find this podcast, get with me, because I'm so interested to meet someone else who thought like this. Also, we need to launch an app. Good thing, copyright law, I have this documented and published online, so boom. Dated for eternity. Plus, I hold a copy sealed within the spaceship from which I send you this broadcast in good faith that it will reach your podcatcher of choice. Until next time, I've been Stoned. Let's replay that cassette. Until next time, I've been StonerSteve. Bye.